So let's talk about the next evolution of the internet, Web 4.0. And look, this isn't just some minor update. We're talking about a complete shift in how we relate to technology, from something we command to something that actually works with us, like a partner.
You ever get that feeling that your smart speaker, your phone, and your laptop are basically strangers to each other? You're juggling all these different apps and none of them talk to one another. It's why our digital life feels so reactive, you know? We have to ask for everything. But what if the web could tear down those walls? What if it could anticipate what you need and just do it? Well, that's the big promise of Web 4.0.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we'll take a quick trip through the history of the web to see how we even got here. Then, we're going to define this idea of a symbiotic web and look at the wild new AI that's making it possible. We'll check out where it's already popping up, weigh the amazing potential against some pretty serious risks, and finally, we'll ask the big question, what does it really mean to have a digital partner? To really get a handle on where we're headed, we've got to look back at where we've been. See, Web 4.0 isn't just appearing out of nowhere. It's the next logical step in a story that started more than 30 years ago.
So the whole journey kicked off with Web 1.0. Remember that? The old read-only web with its static pages? Then came Web 2.0, the social read-write web, where we all started creating content on platforms like Facebook and YouTube. Right now, we're kind of in the middle of the Web 3.0 transition, the read-write-own era, which is all about decentralization and owning your data using stuff like blockchain. And that brings us to the next frontier, Web 4.0, the intelligent or symbiotic web. What's really fascinating when you lay it all out like this is seeing how everything changes. The tech goes from basic HTML to insane stuff like AI, brain-computer interfaces, and the Internet of Things. But the most important shift? It's our role. We went from being passive readers to content creators to owners of our data, and now we're on the verge of becoming symbiotic partners with intelligent systems that act on our behalf.
Okay, so what exactly is this symbiotic web? Let's pin down the core idea that really sets Web 4.0 apart from everything that's come before it.
At its heart, Web 4.0 is about changing the internet from a passive tool into an active partner. It's an internet that's designed to understand your context, your goals, and your needs, and then act on them without you having to spell everything out. Think of it less like a search engine and more like a personal chief of staff who just gets things done.
And this is the key difference right here. Web 3.0 is all about giving you ownership over your digital stuff, your data, your identity, your content. It's like owning your own digital property. Web 4.0, on the other hand, is about giving you a digital partner, an AI agent that can manage all that property and act for you out in the digital world.
So how is this partnership even possible? Well, it's thanks to a massive leap in technology. We're moving away from AI that just talks to us to AI that can actually do things. And this is where something called large action models come into play. Think about the AI we're all used to, like ChatGPT. Those are large language models, or LLMs. They're amazing at processing information and giving you answers in text. They can tell you exactly how to book a flight or how to write a tricky email, but they can't actually do it for you. And this is the game changer. The next step in this evolution is the large action model, or LAM. These systems aren't just built for talking, they're built for doing. They are essentially the hands and feet of the AI, designed to take action across apps and websites. This example just says it all, doesn't it? An LLM gives you the recipe, but a LAM actually cooks the meal for you. You can give it a high-level command like, hey, book me the best flight to Istanbul for next week. And it can go out, browse websites, compare the prices, fill in your info, and actually buy the ticket. It's the bridge between knowing and doing.
So how does it actually work under the hood? Well, a LAM basically operates in 4 stages. First, it figures out what you want. Then it creates a step-by-step plan. The execution layer is what then goes out and interacts with apps just like a person would, clicking buttons, filling out forms. And finally, it learns from what happens so it gets smarter and better every single time.
Now, I know this might still sound a little bit like science fiction, but the foundations for Web 4.0 are actually being built all around us. Let's take a look at where these kinds of technologies are already starting to show up. And make no mistake, this is a massive shift. The European Commission is projecting that the global market for virtual worlds, which is a huge piece of the Web 4.0 puzzle, is going to be worth over 800 billion euros by 2030. This isn't some niche curiosity. It's a major economic transformation. And we can already see the early signs.
Think about smart cities, where AI is starting to manage traffic and power grids automatically. Autonomous cars are basically Web 4.0 agents on wheels, sensing and reacting to the world. In healthcare, your wearable device is a proactive monitor, feeding data to systems that can spot problems early. Even in manufacturing, companies are using digital twins, virtual copies of their factories, to let an AI run simulations and predict when a machine needs fixing before it even breaks. These are all early versions of this symbiotic tech in action.
But, of course, a technology this powerful brings up some really deep questions. We have to look at both sides of the coin here, the incredible promise, but also the very real peril of a world where machines act for us.
The upsides are obvious, right? Experiences tailored just for you, seamless automation, better accessibility. But the risks are just as serious. Who's responsible when an AI messes up? What happens to our privacy when our digital agent needs access to literally everything? Our email, our calendar, our bank account to do its job? And what about the very real possibility of widespread job automation? These are tough questions we have to face.
And this quote right here just hits the nail on the head. So many of us, myself included, have basically outsourced our sense of direction to GPS. The real worry is that we'll start to do the same with other important skills, both practical and cognitive, as we hand over more and more of our daily tasks to our AI partners. So where does that leave us? As we look toward the future, what does this big shift towards a digital partner really mean for all of us? The single biggest takeaway is this. For the first time, the web is changing from a passive library of information into an active, intelligent collaborator. We're moving from a relationship of command and response to one of genuine teamwork and symbiosis. And ultimately, that leaves us with this final, crucial question. As we start merging our lives with these incredibly powerful AI agents, are we building tools that will augment our own abilities, freeing us up to be more creative and do more meaningful things? Or are we slowly automating away the very skills that make us independent and human? That's the real tension at the heart of Web 4.0.